I've always been writing about climate change. It shocks me sometimes that there are articles that act like this is something new, because I remember in the late 80s and early 90s writing a series of stories in a novel that were set in a desert-like Earth that was the result of climate change. Having been kind of a nomad before I came to Florida, finally having a place where over 20, 25 years I settled in and I knew the environment, I knew the hiking trails. All of that went into Annihilation in a way that was different from my other work. The setting of Annihilation is the hiking trail I do out at St. Mark's with uncanny elements thrown in. The Gulf oil spill was a pivotal part of coming up with Area X, because while it was going on, we really didn't know if it would ever end. Some experts were saying there might be oil still spilling 20 years from now, and so it was a constant spillage in your head. There was a constant drip in your head, and I think that came out in this desire of my subconscious to protect the areas that I loved, and more or less did that by putting an invisible border around them and returning them to a pristine state of nature. You know, I'm not a fan of fiction that's totally hopeless. I try to write books that are balanced, and I try to look at this issue in ways where there are absurdist, dark glints of humor. Even ER nurses joke a little bit, at least, just to relieve the stress. You find ways of documenting the world as it is and the beauty that's in the world, and you wind up redefining utopia and dystopia. We can't live the way we live now, but there are ways in which we can live in a useful and interesting and comforting and satisfying way within what's happening. Climate change deniers are a cult. You're unlikely to convince that person, but what I'm more interested in is the person who says they believe in climate change, but they put it out of their minds. They think it's coming 40 or 50 years down the road when we're actually in the middle of it now. And those are the people that I'm hopeful that the books will move to do things in their local communities, to do things on a more macro level as well, to push us out of our complacency. And I include myself in that.